magic number to appear.
Oh, okay. Whenever you.
559.
Oh.
That's the longest minute ever, I promise. Okay, good evening, everyone. We're so excited to have you here on this evening, and I want to take a moment just to acknowledge you. My name is Sandra Benson. I'm the chair or the mayor of this magnificent city, and so we welcome you for being here on this evening to this joint SPLOST meeting between the city and the county. We're excited about this opportunity. So before I go any further, I want to acknowledge a few folks in the room. If we've got some council members here, would you please stand? And when I call your name, just raise your hand. Council member at large, Vanessa Thomas. Good evening. Council member District 2, Jamal Bird.
Hey, y'all.
And council member at large, Darrell Payton. And we've got some, please be seated. We've got some amazing staff members here at the, from the county on this evening. We've got Rocky Romero, Sam Baker, Bert Bivens, and Lynn. How did I mix you two? Y'all have the same colors on tonight. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you for this opportunity. So we're live streaming, and I'm going to turn this over to this amazing group that's sitting behind me. This is the SPLOST 6 committee that's been appointed by the Board of Commissioners, but I just want to give you a little bit of background on what tonight is all about and what we're going to cover. So I'm going to give just a real quick introduction to SPLOST, the purpose of SPLOST 6, the committee structure and responsibilities, timeline and project selection, and financial projections, and then at the end we're going to have an altar call. Okay, that's your call. That's your call to action. So SPLOST is a special purpose local option sales tax, and that basically means that 1% of sales tax dollars, if this is approved, will go towards special projects. And those special projects are typically your projects that are where the committee and the county and the city has decided upon projects that we normally would like to incorporate for special purposes like our public safety, our parks, and special interest community centers, civic centers, things of that nature, so that we are not taking general fund dollars and taxpayer dollars from property tax in order to create these different quality of life issues. This special purpose local option sales tax is very important because it prevents us from having to increase property taxes in order to support the quality of life issues that the community has requested over time. We're also excited about the fact that this committee has been working since November. The commissioners during that time period appointed their representatives, and from January through April 2024, the committee has met to discuss recommended projects. We are in the month of June now, and we have been meeting with all of the cities. McDonough is the fourth city that they're meeting with, and the goal on this evening will be to look at these amazing projects. These are opportunities that we have to collaborate with the county. That's a favorite word of mine and most of the people in this room. So we have an opportunity to do some joint projects. They're going to tell us all about it. And then in July, they're gonna finalize the project list, and if necessary, we'll create an intergovernmental agreement. Voters will have the opportunity to decide on the SPLOST 6 referendum in November. And then April 2025, if approved, SPLOST 6 collections will begin, and that will complete our SPLOST 6 project up to the point of collection. So a 6-year SPLOST 6 program is projected at approximately $470 million. A 5-year program might collect around $380 million. I just really wanted to take the time to give you that basic information because we don't often understand fully what we're being asked to do, and I wanted to make sure that people understood the difference between SPLOST and regular general fund property tax collection. So anytime that you have questions on this evening, I know that this amazing group is going to open up the floor to respond to your questions. I am about to turn this meeting over to Rocky and Chair Travis Wines, and I just thank you again for being here, and thank you so much for this opportunity to provide feedback. Mr. Wines?
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thank you all for coming out. We look forward to hearing your comments tonight. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll go ahead and get an acceptance of tonight's agenda. Second. All right, thank you. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, so we will turn it over to Meredith Butler, Henry County Communications Coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. On this microphone. Actually, the mayor gave my speech. So I just want to add a couple of things. We're here to hear from you all. The committee is here to hear from you all. The committee is here to hear what projects the City of McDonough residents would like to see on the referendum in the fall. That's the reason we're here. We're here for you to learn what SPLOST has already done for you so that you know what you wouldn't have if it wasn't for the SPLOST program. The difference between a 5-year agreement and a 6-year agreement comes down to whether or not the cities and the county can agree on an intergovernmental agreement. If they can't agree, then we only get to collect for 5 years. But if the city and the county can work together, we can collect for 6 years, which means we're bringing in a lot more money, which means we can do a lot more projects. And one of the main things that I do want to hit on is, while quality of life is huge, and one of the things in the forefront for us, roads and infrastructure, those are huge on our SPLOST list too. And we all know the first thing everybody says is, "Can you please pave that pothole?" And you can see, they will show you a slide that shows how many miles of roads, how many intersections they've done, all these things done under the SPLOST program that would have happened had it not been for SPLOST. Or maybe they happened and something else didn't happen. But Bert will be able to explain more on that, and Rocky will be able to explain more on that. I don't want to take somebody else's speech now. But anyway, if anybody has any questions, or if you have, after the meeting, if you would still like to get in contact, you can email the county at splost6@co.henry.ga.gov, and I'll give you that because it's really fast. We'll put that in the comments on Facebook. And then the website, if you would like to visit the website, is henrysplost6.com. And now I'm going to call up Rocky. Rocky Romero is our director, our cluster lead for SPLOST and Public Works and a bunch of other hats.
Thank you, Meredith. I want to go ahead and at least give the opportunity for the committee yourself.
I'm Travis Wines. I was committed by Madam Sharon Harrell.
Dan Fields, District 4.
Rodney Lemons, District 2.
Denise Olia, District 5.
Oliver Hawkins, District 1. And I'll now bring Brett Rivers, our Assistant Director for SPLOST. Talk about SPLOST 5 and future SPLOST 6.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Mayor and city officials on hosting us this evening. So this shows up SPLOST projections throughout, or SPLOST collections throughout the years. If you can see, as the mayor already mentioned, a 5-year program will be $380 million projected. That is without the intergovernmental agreement. With the intergovernmental agreement, the projection is $470 million, and that will be a 6-year program in which we would cooperate and collaborate with the city of, well, with the cities. As Mary indicated before, this just shows that we've done 272 miles of resurfacing throughout our SPLOST program. 272 miles will get you from here to the Atlantic Ocean. So that just shows the significance of how much roadway we paved. If you see here, we've had 68 dirt roads, 19 recreation parks, 12 fire stations to really enhance public safety. We've had 58 intersection improvements. And so, you know, that really has enhanced safety conditions, so reducing, you know, accidents and things of that nature. We've also had 5 libraries, 4 senior centers, and we've improved or built 26 bridges and culverts. And all of this has been accomplished with SPLOST dollars. These slides are just showing some of the recent projects that we have done in this vicinity. Turner Church Road at State Route 20 was a really congested area. We built a roundabout there. Also at Willow Lane at Bridges, we just are in the final stages of getting that done. I think we got the lighting and everything put up, and it looks really nice. Irish Lake at Racetrack Road, that's another intersection improvement that we did that was really needed. We've had it complete, I think, about 4 or 5 months now, and that project was actually in a governmental agreement with the city of McDonough. So we appreciate you all for collaborating with us so we can get that done. This slide shows SPLOST 5 projects that are currently in progress. So this just shows State Route 81 from Postmaster Drive down to Bethany Road. We're gonna 4-lane it, and we're already acquiring right-of-way on that project. It's one of our T-SPLOST projects. But this just indicates, you know, what we can get accomplished with SPLOST dollars. Also, bridges, road resurfacing. We have that out for bid. I think it's active. It's an active project contract right now, so they'll be getting to it probably in the next 2 or 3 months. You'll see the crews out, and we'll get it resurfaced. At this time, I'm going to introduce Helene Planchon, our capital projects director, and she's going to go over some of the capital projects that we've accomplished with SPLOST dollars.
Good evening. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate that. I'm very happy to be here, very happy that you're here. It's super important for us to hear from you, so it's great to see everyone. So really quick, I just wanted to highlight the fitness room addition that we did over at the Heritage Senior Center. It turned out, I think, beautiful. I don't know that you wouldn't know it was always there from the beginning. It gets used heavily, so we're really pleased about that. The other item I wanted to highlight that we participated in was the McDonough Library renovations. That was a grant that SPLOST did the grant match. So we did assist in it. It's under construction right now. They're projecting to have the renovations complete if not by the end of this month, which is really next week, probably the first week of June. So that project it was much needed. They removed that raised floor in there that was a tripping hazard, and it's gonna be updated and beautiful. I think everybody's really gonna be pleased with how that project turns out. What I'd like to go over now is, obviously through all these meetings, we have received a lot of requests, and that's what we're here for. So I was just putting together a brief general list of some of the requests under Public Works. We have airport improvement requests under Henry County DOT. They are in need of some new equipment. Under Public Safety, a new Animal Resource Center has been requested. And under Fire Rescue, they are in need of facilities and equipment. Under Technology Services, they have requested funding for some technology upgrades, specifically for securing the county as far as, we're always battling cyber attacks and such. So we're always gonna need to upgrade and improve our equipment. Under Parks and Recreation, that's a really big, wide blanket we throw here, but we're looking at athletic field improvements, concession, restroom facility improvements. It could be a new facility, it could be renovating an existing facility, new sports lighting, and new playgrounds, and that's just to name a few. They've got a long, large list of things that they would like to do and need the SPLOST to help accomplish. And under Senior Services, they're looking to do some facility replacement and or renovation of existing facilities. So, like I said, that's a very broad blanket but that just names a few things, and I can't iterate enough. We want to hear from you and hear what you are looking for in your community. And I'm going to turn it back over to Bert, and he's going to go over the recommended transportation projects for SPLOST 6.
Before we get into the next slide, I want to mention that this SPLOST, if it is approved, will not be a new tax. It'll be a continuation of a tax that is already in place. So that's important when we're discussing the SPLOST, that it is not a new tax, it is one that is already in place, and we just want to have a continuation. And also, SPLOST funds can be used to subsidize federal funding, art funding, state funding. So for an example, we may be able to obtain $1 million in federal funding, but it may require us to have a 20% match. So SPLOST funds can be used for us to meet that 20%. So we come up with $200,000, and the federal government or the state will give us, the other 800 to make the million. So it can be used for that purposes as well. So the transportation projects that we have on the SPLOST 6 that we have discussed is Willow Lane widening from Bridges to Jonesboro Road. Another project that really needs to be done with all the traffic that we're getting on State Route 42. We want to widen State Route 42 from Bill Gardner to State Route 155. That's one of the projects that we are seeking state funding from to help get it done, because it'll be a massive project and it'll have a high cost, but it needs to be done. These are projects that we have mentioned and collaborated with Public Works Director and Assistant Public Works Director about getting done in an intergovernmental agreement. Racetrack Road at Travis Drive, it's in need of a intersection improvement. It's kind of an awkward angle, and it's, the visibility is not good, so that's one intersection that we want to improve with a proposed SPLOST 6. Another intersection that we want to improve is Airline Road at McGarry Road. McDonough Parkway at Bridges Road. Those are three intersections that we're looking to design and later construct with SPLOST funds. McDonough Parkway widening from the storage units down to Jonesboro Road. We're currently working on the section of McDonough Parkway at 20 where it ties in on the north side. So this project will pick up from there and take it all the way to Jonesboro Road. At this time, I want to invite anyone up from the city of McDonough that would like to make comments. I know the mayor has already spoken.
Oh, right, public works one. Evidently not. Billy, were you on the way, buddy?
No, I thought I had my name up there, I think somebody made a mistake. City administrators have been working real hard on SPLOST 6, and, he's gonna take over.
Now, I think just mash the button for everyone to show it. But like what was spoken this evening on the SPLOST, this is a good deal for the county and all citizens in the county of Henry. There's a lot of things that can be done with these monies, that if we didn't have it, you'd be paying more in your taxes. It's amazing what a penny can do. And it's also amazing how many people who do not live here but pay that, just as they pass through. I'm excited to get to do some projects with the county because of the way our city limits and county limits meet. You spoke of the Travis and Racetrack Road. I believe we already have that in one of our projects already. I believe it's in SPLOST 5. And the roundabout at Racetrack and Iris Lake turned out nice. And you spoke of another one, and I can't remember which one it was. It's also one of our projects already. State Route 81 in Peace Plus. We do have a share in that. But yeah, I'm excited, and I believe our mayor and council are excited. Bridges Road, that was good news about it tonight. And that's been a long time coming there. That's a bad roadway. I don't know how we all missed it through the years, actually. But that's all I have, and unless anyone has any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
All right, do we have anybody that signed up for public comment?
That's fine.
You can
Yeah,
speak.
We'll go ahead and open the floor, and anybody who wants to make public comment, you're welcome to.
Can we have your name first?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I didn't do that. My name is Steve Brown, and I'm on that 155 road, my business is, and I've been there we opened our center July the 2nd of 2002. And so we have Fun Bowl, which is a family entertainment center, and we have some genuine concerns about the SPLOST and so forth, and you know, I'm not really for SPLOST because it's still a tax, and I know you're continuing the effort as far as after the 5 years continuing the SPLOST and so forth, but in listening over the past 2 or 3 weeks and seeing some of the videos and so forth, and I recognize that it's a wish list, if you will, of items. I'm sorry to come back to you, I'm sorry. But it's a wish list, but I personally don't believe that the tax dollars should be spent in any way to compete with our local businesses. And after seeing some of the videos, and so, hello, Ms. Mayor, but seeing some of the videos and so forth, and you know, one was maybe having a senior center with bowling inside of it. That's what I do for 54 years. And so I have a real problem with some of that, and talking about doing a golf course, we used to have one. And so I just wanted to come in to share with you some things that are concerning to me. But I read the wish list and would like to do with these dollars, county golf course, senior center with bowling lanes in it. And I recognize it's a big thing, and you haven't narrowed all that down, but these the sales tax will be collected by local businesses and turned over to the county to compete with the same businesses that do the collecting of these sales tax dollars. And this is just wrong on so many levels. And that is just wrong. I mean, I just can't believe it. But when business owners go to their bank to borrow the money to build these facilities like we did in 2001, we went through 9/11 when we were building our center. We went through the banking crisis, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and our county lost every local bank. And so that was a pretty tough time. Went through COVID, and we survived that, thank God. A lot of people did. But when we go to the bank and borrow the money to build these places, the banks requires us to make money, to be profitable, or we can't stay. We just can't stay. They won't let us. And so just concerning that our county or the city would allow other venues or other to come in and compete with the local business. But the county does not have to operate these businesses like we do, because we can't throw money at it. We're a small business, and so I'm just concerned. And if the county wants to operate these type of venues, then the county needs to come buy me out and operate it themselves. And I'm not saying I want to do that, but that's the long and short of it. But we have to pay sales tax. We're being taxed to death. There should be people lined out the door here because we're being taxed. $70,000 a year I pay for property tax and personal property tax. $12,000 to $15,000 I pay per month for sales tax right now. You know, I know you can think that, well, that's paid by other people, but we still have to compete in the marketplace. And so I'm just concerned, but I've been doing this a long time, and we're not a high-end type of business that we can just charge $50 to come bowl. These are families that we have to be concerned about. And we love where we're at. We have a location in Fayetteville. We had 3 in Atlanta. And we sold all 3. We're focused in, if my truck gets to I-20, it starts pulling to the left. Because I gotta get back home. Get back to McDonough. I get back to Fayetteville. So I'm just concerned that if you build something and you allow a senior center to have bowling lanes in it, well, that's a problem. Because I can't compete with that. Because your monies that they would pay to come there is not the same as it takes from me. And I live in a senior center, and I was telling Mr. Hawkins earlier, I live in Sun City now. I've had 3 homes in this county, but I moved there because I'm 67 years old. Can you believe that? 67. But anything I do there, I got paid for it. Nobody's gonna pay it for me. So I'm just a little boy from Forest Park. Back in 1975, I graduated high school and I got in this bowling business, and I never left. But I'm happy to be in McDonough, Georgia. I mean, it's just great. But if the wish list is a dream of the taxpayers to have, then somebody in the private sector should be investing their money to build bowling. I don't have a problem competing against another business, but I have a problem competing in my own county. And I can't collect the tax money and then turn around and give that money to the county to compete with me. That's a problem for me. And so, and I don't think I'm the only one. I feel the same way about golf courses. If they're paying sales tax, and then county's going to compete with them, they can't compete with that. It's just not possible. But anyway, just wanted to go on record and let you know that if some of this wish list includes bowling in a senior center, that's just not fair. Not fair at all. And I respectfully submit that to you, and I'm just a concerned business owner that got 6 grandkids. They want everything from me. They want to go to Dave & Buster. They want to go to Fun Boat. They want me to give them stuff. Well, the problem with that, somebody's got to pay for that, and it's Nana and Papa. And so I'm just concerned, okay? And I want to go on record and let you know that I don't believe we should be anything that's going to compete with the taxpayers. And I don't care if it's just my business, any business, you should not be competing with somebody that has to go out and borrow money, millions of dollars, somebody, millions of dollars. And for us, being a small business owner, that's a leap of faith for us. You know, I'm still trying to figure out how to make it, you know, but it's been 22 years from 36 at Fayetteville. So that's what I respectfully submit that to you, okay? But please don't use any of these dollars that's going to compete with any local business that we have in our, we love McDonough. I don't want you to think that we don't love the city of McDonough, okay? But we do. So, but thank you for your time, okay? Appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else who would like to make a public comment? Good, how are you?
I've seen it a few times now, so.
Just once.
Twice.
Twice. I am
State
from,
your name, please.
Ramirez Sports. I am from Rich Craig Park. I'm the president for the association, MA Association. I came today because the last meeting that I attended, the commissioner was there. And so let me start back. I started this journey, I started in 2023 by reaching out to the mayor and another city official about trying to get improvements to the park. I was told that money, that was on the county. So then I went to this meeting a few months ago, and I was told by the commissioner that that's the city. So I'm just kind of stuck in it's like this, I'm a citizen kind of stuck in the middle, don't really know what's the answer to get improvements to the park. I hear about all these things that tax could do, but I don't see it in motion. I also coach a youth baseball team. We had a tournament out of North Ola, so I did see that they had a newer facility. I don't know how new it is, but it was a newer, nicer facility. And at Rich Craig Park, all I want to do is just provide a safe environment and something nice for the kids. So I think it's a shame that we have a park in the city with boarded up playgrounds and boarded up buildings within our city, within the city limits. And like I said, this is my third time coming to one of these meetings, and then I've spoken to city officials. I also spoke to the commissioner the last time, who I thought was going to be here today, but I'm just coming to bring concerns about just trying to upgrade the existing parks. And if there's been money collected, then who can help us upgrade the park? And I'm not asking for new dirt on the field. Like I've partnered with Henry County Parks and Rec. Those guys have been helping me out like on the field and stuff like that. So that part is taken care of. It's just the buildings that surround that park, and it's utilized a lot. The kids from forgive me if I'm using the wrong word, but I think that's public housing that's across the street. They come over and use that playground a lot, and it's just like, it's a playground that's boarded up that really blows my mind, and I can't believe it, but that's all.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else?
I think someone from the county should explain the service delivery strategy, or chief administrator, because we do have an agreement with the county on STS. Or do I need to clarify? Because I'm the person you spoke with.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a comment, so I'll just lead into my comment once I'm done. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and I'd like to hear more about how we can collaborate around improvements in this upcoming SPLOST. But we do have a service delivery strategy with the county. The cities are responsible for the passive parks. The county is responsible for any of the active parks. So I know that may have sounded a little bit confusing when we had our conversation, but that's basically what I'm saying when I say it's the county's responsibility. Now, the city of McDonough has repaired the restrooms at Richard Craig Park, put flooring in. We've done a lot of things, but according to our agreement, there is a separation between which type of park we are responsible for monetarily and which type the county is responsible for. So I just wanted to clear that point, because I'm not one to push the buck onto somebody else. I just wanted to explain how it happens. But inasmuch, my first point is, if there's opportunity in this SPLOST for us to work together around improvements and enhancements, I'll raise my hand and say I agree and support. But the next thing that I'd like to mention is, I was a little bit disappointed not to see Jonesboro Road Park on the list, Jonesboro Road on the list of widenings that need to take place. It is expected that we're going to have over 2,000 individuals that are gonna come in through apartment complexes along that Jonesboro Road corridor. I've heard upwards to 6,000. That's a lot of cars. And so for us not to start out with a plan on how we're going to expand that roadway to accommodate that growth that will be here within 5 years, I think collectively we are being somewhat remiss by at least not having a conversation about what we should do, what the capacity of the roadway currently is, and where we need to go. I know it took me one day from City Hall to get to the Sweet Auburn barbecue. That was about 40 minutes. It was on a really busy day, but to me, that was just a foreshadow of things to come. So I think that the Jonesboro Road corridor from I-75 all the way down, we should be discussing that as well. Thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry, excuse me. How far down Jonesboro? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So from I-75 all the way down Jonesboro Road to what is it? The square, the roundabout. It doesn't go. We have one-way pairs now, so it doesn't go all the way to the square. So as far down Jonesboro Road as
Steve, maybe you can help me out, because I'm trying to see from an engineering standpoint where it would need to stop.
How many miles?
How many miles?
Around 3.
Yeah, it's about 3 miles.
Yeah.
Probably
Rocky
3.
says, right at the tracks.
All right, do we have any more public comments?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vanessa Thomas, and councilwoman for the city of McDonough. So quite naturally, I'm going to look out for the city, just like our mayor is. But I'm looking at all of these District 3 projects here. And the city of McDonough has more than just District 3. We have 4 districts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm wondering what are the plans for our other districts? Most of us, really all of us, that live within city limits, you know, we are going to be voting for whether or not we want the SPLOST. So as a result, you know, that this ought to apply to the other, you know, to the whole city of McDonough. And just curious to find out, why are we just looking at just county connections instead of the city as a whole?
If you look at the board, that's in reference to county commissioner districts and not the districts inside of the city.
Okay, but my question is why? Why are we just looking at that and not looking at the whole city?
We are looking at the whole city. District 3 is the district, the county commissioner district that's in this vicinity.
And you do have more, but I think we did cover on the proposed.
Yeah, Rocky, can I say this real quick? That's not city of McDonough 3, that's Henry County 3.
Correct, it's Henry County. This is Henry County District, not City District.
Right, exactly. So my question is, why aren't we considering the city of McDonough within the SPLOST, you know, that we're all voting on?
So 3 covers the majority majority of the city of McDonough. I think that's where the mix-up is. This is Henry County District 3 versus City of McDonough District 3. So 3 covers the majority of the city of
Oh,
McDonough.
so this is District 3?
County.
County?
County.
Okay.
County, not state. Now, this is Henry County District.
Okay.
Now, it does touch a little bit of 5, it's also county 5, and also a little bit of 4, but most of it is kind of 3. So within the city, portions of the cities are also within the county district. So, but regardless, when you vote for.
Well, really, all of the
you-
city
you-
is within, is in the county, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you vote, you don't vote city or, you just vote for SPLOST.
Right, exactly, and that's the same, I mean, that's how I perceive it, so I'd like to see more projects that's affecting our cities
And this is,
as
that's
well
the
as the
list.
county.
And that's the proposed list of joint projects with county and city. Now, the city does receive a portion of SPLOST, and that's something for the city to determine where you're gonna spend the funds. Now, we don't have a list here for the city, correct? But mainly, we're here to have a joint meeting to projects that we're gonna be joint forces with the city and the county together. Now, the cities, that's between you.
Yeah, okay, I
Between the city council and the mayor to come up with your own list.
Okay.
We don't have your list.
Gotcha.
That's your list.
Okay, all right, but I am pleased to see some things that's happening, and especially the widening of, Bill Gardner in 155. Now, my
Yes.
question is, how far down are we going down 155? Is it down there by 75?
So we have, and you mentioned Jonesboro, but I'll hit Jonesboro in a second, but you said Bill Gardner. So Bill
Yes.
Gardner, we're gonna 4-lane it from I-75 all the way to 155.
Okay, but where though? Is it in city limits?
It's in Locust Grove, a portion of it is in city of Locust Grove, and then it's county.
Okay, now that's where we got a problem there, and especially over there where Lozada is in that area on down towards the interstate.
That's there by 155, and GDOT is working on a design from 155 from Bill Garner all the way to 75 on 155. So GDOT is, that's a state route. Yes.
Okay, it's just so confusing. All right, okay, thank you.
And touching on Jonesboro Road, we are in the process of, actually, there should be some staking going on this week on the west side of Jonesboro Road. Because the county has a SPLOST project, current SPLOST project, to 4-lane Jonesboro Road from I-75 all the way to North Mount Carmel.
That's on the other side.
Correct, but where's the back, when you cross 75, it goes to 2 lanes real quick, so it backs up. So once we do that, hopefully, right, I hope it helps the east side, once the west side is widened. Another thing that we're doing is, we actually did a pre-construction on the Flippin Road extension. We're gonna have a new road going north-south that is gonna alleviate, instead of people going on 75, they're gonna be on Flippin Road extension. And they can go all the way to, basically to Costa just about. So we do have some projects around the city that we're working to alleviate the congestion.
So Rocky, if I could reiterate my position on that, if we are, and I do know about the widening that's taking place on the other side of the interstate. This is hopefully a 6-year SPLOST.
We hope.
Okay, so if we're talking about 6 years into the future for the next time that we're going to have a SPLOST, and we're already getting ready to widen the other side of the interstate, where the growth is taking place with those apartment units, it's coming on, is it the west side? What, in the east or west? So is the east side? Okay, so it's.
There's also the west, there's also the west.
Yeah, I get that, but the majority of the construction that's taking place right now is taking place on the east side. That's where the widening needs to take I'm recommending that we get out front and get funds allocated for that at this time and not waiting until 6 years or another T-SPLOST to try and address what we know is a perfect storm that's coming for congestion.
So one of the projects, and we don't have it here, is we're looking to do the design of Oak Road, 4-lane. Oak Road from, Willow Lane and Junco Road, 4-lane Oak Road from Junco Road all the way to Jericho. That gives you a north-south corridor that runs basically parallel to the interstate. So if we can get that done, right now we're proposing design, the SPLOST 6, and then the T-SPLOST 2 construction. Then a lot of the traffic that will be going to the interstate, they can jump on this road, right on Oak Road, go all the way to Campground, 42, because that's the problem. We don't have a north-south 4-lane road, and where does everybody wants to go? 75 to go
And
home.
yeah, they're coming.
Even if to go one exit up.
Yeah, they're coming as far as Ola up, going to work in the morning.
Right.
So I just see a terrible bottleneck taking place when you've got development on both sides and now people coming out of the apartments getting ready to go north to Atlanta for work. So we haven't done those projections to my knowledge to see what the current road capacity is. I just know now, trying to go between the hours of 7 and 9 to get to I-75 is a nightmare.
Correct.
So I believe it is worth making an investment now, even if that investment is for nothing more than getting a study in place so that we know what we have to do for the future. Because that is what the citizens are saying to us now. We did not have the foresight 20 years ago to plan for what's happening today. And I just don't want to be in the history books saying that I didn't have the foresight for what's going to be in front of us 5 years from now.
And it's been noted, and we'll be looking at
Thank you.
at least to maybe a design concept, do something.
Something.
But we gotta start, right? If we don't start, we gotta start today, so in the future we can get there, right?
Journey of 1,000 miles starts with
Yes.
one step.
That's
Yes,
correct,
sir.
that's correct. So Ashley LaRoe, our chief, our Henry County Chief of Staff, Chief.
Yeah, just wanted to provide a little bit of clarity. So when we started the meetings for SPLOST, we started out by doing one in each of our county commission districts, which is why we have 4 instead of just a District 3. Since most of McDonough is in the county District 3, we brought those with us. Thank you for having slides with the proposed projects, and we're definitely open to other projects. That's why we're having these conversations, so you can tell us what it is that we need to be focusing on. We also have our Director of Transportation Planning here, Sam Baker, that is helping us make sure that we have the forward thinking to address those problems on the front end. So we're taking all of that into consideration. We just wanted to say thank you guys again for coming out.
Do we have any more public comments? All right, do we have any committee comments?
I just wanted to add how important it is to get the intergovernmental agreements together so that we can have this 6-year funding. This is not something that is taken lightly. With the new development at Jericho, with the Burgess development, we could exceed these numbers. You just never know who's going to pull in and dump a bus full of people at Costco to go shopping once that's a fully developed shopping center in the coming years. So I would hope that the public would encourage their family and friends to vote for the SPLOST. It is, again, a continuation of an existing tax, and it would be, I think we resent seeing other counties continue to make improvements on their infrastructure and within their community, that if we don't vote for this too, will be this pocket missing on that 1% tax. To go to other counties and see infrastructure improvement while we would lay stagnant trying to find funding for these things that we want to do, we would be very remiss to not consider voting yes for SPLOST in November. Thank you.
No comment.
I've got a question. So on the Jonesboro Road widening that the mayor was mentioning, I know we just put a lot into that roundabout there, just before you get to the square. What do we have to do, if we widen that to, say, a 4-lane down through there, is that roundabout, do you think it's sufficient to where we wouldn't have to change it much, or would we have to redo that roundabout?
Well, you have a constraint, which is the railroad tracks, and of course, coming through the city, so I just don't see us move. Of course, when we're talking about widening, it's already 4 lanes, and we're talking about 6 lanes now. So the 6 lane would stop prior to the roundabout.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the McGarity and State Route 20 intersection?
Georgia DOT project.
End of the year. End of the year. Thank you.
All right, good.
I actually do have a question. I'm not for certain who, if the mayor, if you can reiterate maybe, but I'm a little confused, I'm sorry, in reference to Mr. Ford's asking about the playground being brought up to standard in terms of, for the children, in terms of who is responsible for that, because I am still confused as to whom that is. Being in all of these meetings, I don't feel as though that, and I don't know if he does, but I don't feel like I have a solid answer as to who would be responsible for that in terms of taking care of inside of the park, in terms of the playground and the facilities and the restrooms and so on and so forth.
So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna look into it, and at the next meeting, I'll bring it and inform the committee to break down specifically for that one part.
I mean, I did do an open records request, and it does state what the county's responsible for, and I was told anything outside that box belongs to the city. But it just depends on who I talk to. So there's an open records request that I shared. I think I shared it with you.
We also have Jonathan Penn, our cluster leader for Parks and Rec. He wants to say a few words.
I was just gonna say, and I'm sure that Mr. Penn can elaborate on this. It's not even an open records request, wouldn't even be necessary. There is an agreement that every city in Henry County has with Henry County, and it's called a service delivery strategy. The purpose for that is to make sure that we're not having a duplication of taxation for specific things within the county. So one of those things being our parks. And in that negotiation, it is a 10-year plan. The agreement was made that if a park is considered an active park, there's an athletic association, there's some type of organized play, whether it be football, baseball, etc., then the county is responsible for those repairs. If it is something that is an inactive park, meaning it's just passive, you go, you hang out in the green space, you walk on walking trails, and it's within a particular city, then the city is responsible for those repairs. And that is where the lines were drawn. It really doesn't have anything to do with boundaries, but it has everything to do with that particular strategy. Now, there are some things that we are currently trying to negotiate within that strategy, and that may be what Rocky is making reference to about coming back to the group, but that is the baseline understanding that I have as far as who is responsible for what. Now, if we keep getting complaints, we're gonna do just like we always have done, and that is to go ahead and repair whatever it is that's broken. So,
good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Penn. Everyone calls me JP. I'm the cluster lead for Legion Public Services, Director of Parks and Recreation.
wait a minute. Y'all see y'all dead?
So, as the mayor stated, there is a SDS agreement, Service Delivery Strategy Agreement. From a general standpoint, that's the gist of it. But there are some caveats in that with each city on what areas are maintained by the county, what areas are maintained by the city. Like at Avalon, there are certain areas that that are active, but we maintain most of the football fields. The splash pad, which is, you know, all that's an active thing that people do. All of that's maintained by the city. At the end of the day, we want to provide a quality service to the residents of Henry County.
Correct.
So we're looking to work together, as he mentioned, to make sure that we're doing what needs to be done to bring these parks up to standard. A lot of these things are not new. They were this way before I got here, this way before she got here, and so now we're trying to work together to bring it up to standard. We recently spent almost $300,000 to resurface the tennis courts over there at Richard Craig Park. They redid one of the restrooms over there, so we're looking to improve these areas over there. It just takes time to find the funding for it, because one thing I would like to mention is you said you see these projects and they're SPLOST dollars, but in the past these SPLOST dollars had specific projects that they were earmarked for. So for example, if SPLOST 4 said, well, we want a new concession at Richard Craig Park, we can't use that money to build a new playground at Richard Craig Park. We have to use it specifically for a new concession. And so if monies were not allocated specifically for that park and for that reason, we can't spend that money to improve that. Now, like I said, things are changing, and we're looking to bring the parks up to the standard that I want them to be at, whether it's a city park or a county park, because at the end of the day, the resident coming through, or the general public coming through that's not even a resident, and they see this park, they want to stop there. They don't care if it's a city or a county park. They just want something, an amenity that they can go to and that they can enjoy. And so at the end of the day, we're going to work together and figure out how we can bring it up to that standard.
Okay. So we speaking of, I mean, you're saying the same thing I'm saying. You just, I mean, I think we're on the same page. I just wanted to know, like, do we just say ignore it until how long will it stay that way? That's all I'm saying. Like, I never got an answer as far as even a timeline. It was just, I just kind of go back and forth between the county and the city. So.
Unfortunately, because there's a dollar sign attached to it, sometimes there is a wait.
Oh, that's
because that means that there's budgeting that has to take place, decisions that have to be made, board and council votes that have to take place. So the one thing that I will, if I can brag on the city at this moment, I'm most excited about this is something recent that's taken place, and that is that we have established a parks department, because we are a growing city. We understand that there are concerns, and we want to have someone here at the city that can work directly with the county, and that it's not getting caught up in the quagmire of all of the other public works activities that we have. So we all hear the same message that you're giving on tonight, the same question that you're answering. And when we say that citizens don't know where the lines stop and they don't care, we understand that. Painfully, we understand that. So we're trying to work through what we have to do to make sure that we're addressing the concerns and the needs. And that's really where we are. And what sometimes slows things up is that almighty dollar. Because if the money is, nothing at a park is inexpensive. So I'm sorry that it has taken this long, but that was our most aggressive and proactive step recently, was to establish that parks department. And now we're just trying to line up our budget to be associated with those responsibilities.
And that's understandable. I just never got an answer before, so that was, I was just looking for an answer. That's all. So go back and tell the parents that I served at the park, give them some kind of feedback. So.
And I'm happy, and I'm sure Jonathan is as well at any point to talk, to whomever.
Okay.
I have the tendency, as you've probably seen tonight, to over-explain it. That's the teacher anointing in me. And so what that sometimes does is it confuses things even more. So I thought that when we had our conversation that I was clear about I knew the house field number at that time, but the service delivery strategy, and it probably just got caught up in all of the other things that were said, and I apologize for that.
Thank you.
If anybody gets the award for the one citizen in this county that has shown up repeatedly for the same cause to champion for our children, it is you. It is you.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take an approval of minutes from May 20th meeting. Second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, so we have future meetings, next week, June 4th, 2 weeks. June 4th, actually June 6th, 6:30 p.m. is the final meeting at the Inter-County Admin Building, at the Admin Building. We have a meeting June 4th at 6:30, it's more of a workshop meeting at the Admin Building as well. And with that, I believe we're finished. We'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you all for attending.